Where is due? Obviously that's a pun. The program title, like many of the other program titles, has at least, well, two puns, credit and due.
Yes. Well, yes, that's true. Credit because of, obviously, the financial revolution that we're talking about that made all these things happen because it released the cash and made it flow around the country. And due because this is an approach to the reasons why it happened, which I found very attractive and which is historically okay, valid, and it's not the one that I think most people are told. The idea that the dissenters were so key, the nonconformists were so key to what happened, and in a sense, therefore, they get the credit that they've been due all along, but which most people didn't know about.
Percentages on the number of dissenters who...
It's interesting, the dissenters business, because a survey taken shows that 50% of the entrepreneurs at the time were dissenter, and the dissenters formed only 3% of the population. So that gives you the idea of the kind of influence they were having.
What about the human cost of the Industrial Revolution, especially in those transitional generations? Were the workers really better off than they had been in the countryside?
Well, everybody still argues that. I mean, there's no doubt that the conditions in the cities were appalling. I mean, people were coming in to live in conditions that were absolutely incomprehensibly dreadful to us. One of the problems about shooting that stuff is how do you recreate the filth and the squalor and the degradation? You can't. On the other hand, they didn't go back to the villages when there were temporary times of depression. And one of the interesting things about that is that perhaps it's a little bit like some of the immigrants who came here in the 19th century, that, you know, they came and they worked perhaps in terribly bad conditions in various parts of the major cities in the United States, but anything was better to compare with what they left. And if you look at what they left, it was, as I said in the film, far from being a lovely, bucolic dream that those places were really repressive, those villages.
Some of the mills were better than others. I saw in the credits that you mentioned New Lanark. Did you actually shoot at Robert Owen's model?
Yes, that mill where I talked about people who'd never known anything about time, that was supposed to be a utopian mill set up by an early socialist on a kind of workers' cooperative basis. And, you know, that was the best it was going to be by a long way. And then that didn't work either.
I guess the revolutionary aspect of the Industrial Revolution is that it literally changed the space and time we inhabit.